Yeah, I think so. They're indefensible. I think there's no way that anyone should be able to defend them. I think from a personal nature as well, not because I know Mika, but because I have a mom, I have a wife, I have 3 sisters, I have a daughter. You think that way. You can't be partisan in a spot like this. This is where Republicans have to stand up and say this is wrong.
How would you even be partisan? What would the partisan? Who would defend this?
I think the issue is, I think part of the issue with this is you do have some people on the left who criticize everything he does, no matter what it is. So when you criticize this, it sounds like everything else.
Criticize everything your own boss, Chris Christie.
And that's my point. My point is, and to be credible, to come from the right, to be credible, we have to criticize where criticism is warranted. And right now, it's obviously warranted in this place. And I agree completely with John. It's completely derailed any places where the party can get together on things. Healthcare is going to be hard to get together on, but something like energy, there are a lot of pieces of that speech that just happened that a lot of Republicans could galvanize around, or tax reform. Nobody's talking about that, and that's just a huge distraction, and it will keep his agenda from going forward at all.
Michael Steele, where is the red line? I thought that the Access Hollywood tape might be one, and some people unendorsed him, but then a couple weeks later, when he was still alive, they re-endorsed him. Right. Are there any red lines with this president, or have Republicans lost all of their sort of moral bearings?
No, I don't think so.
They're gone.
I think it was very clear when the evangelical wing of the party decided that getting a Supreme Court nominee via Donald Trump was more important than everything else that had gone before. I think that the line was drawn when he made the statements on race that he did, that the leadership of the party said, yeah, that's racist, but I still endorse it. So there are no red lines here. So let's stop pretending that Republicans are going to be suddenly outraged because they have decided, for political expediency and the purposes of holding the House and the Senate, and maybe holding and winning races around the country, that the value of the proposition of being a Republican, of being conservative.
Oh, yeah. Head bend over. Raised up posterior. Head bend over. Raised up posterior. I am white. Very, very Caucasian. Scott Holden. Bone crushing juggernaut. Oh! Raised up posterior.
You have the flow.
There you go. Hey, everybody.
You have the flow.
Scott Holden, bone crushing juggernaut. Along in the studio here with me is Cameron, who's all hunched up and not really on camera so much as in camera. Welcome to Bone Crushing Juggernaut on this crazy day. Yet another day in Trumpitude. That's right.
It's been a while.
Irresponsible, crazy Trump just gave some speech that was just full of lies about the EPA and how he's rolling back essentially, it really is becoming Orwellian. He's claiming to save everyone from the environmental pollutants that he's going to allow into the air.
Yes, it's jobs. Jobs.
For jobs, yeah.
Jobs.
I guarantee you this motherfucker has tons of coal holdings. What do you think?
Jobs.
What do you think? Do you think Donald Trump has lots of coal holdings?
Yeah,
And do you think that this is all about essentially lining his own pockets? Which is what essentially everyone keeps going, what are Trump's policies on this? Trump has no policies. The only policy is self-enrichment. The other big news that I heard this morning was on Morning Joe before Trump. Hang on. Where do we go with this one? Well, was that essentially Trump has been going around saying to people that essentially Jared Kushner is the Secretary of State for all intents and purpose. He's saying that to people.
Why?
Because the Secretary of State is a very important job, and Trump doesn't want to give it out to someone. And also, Russia hates the State Department. Russia hates the American State Department.
What if it is that he's just dumb and he doesn't know how to keep his mouth shut?
Oh, that too. That too. Come on, look at the guy. He's an idiot. I really do believe that when he tweets, he thinks he's like invisible or something. You know what I mean? He's like a kid. I'm closing my eyes. You can't see me. I think he thinks he's whispering secrets to people. But little does he know. Yeah. Fucking moron is tweeting publicly. You know, everybody can see those.
Yeah. Even North Korea.
Yeah.
The people have no internet.
Oh my God, he's such a moron.
Yeah.
And a total sexist pig. So, I mean, I guess in honor of that, it's completely relevant to go back to this old trope.
Do you hear Kushner actually talk, by the way? Yeah. Oh, let's make a song out of this.
I don't have a fucking beat ready to
Let's make a
queue
ludicrous
up. That's why you're some kind of rave shit. Quick, Robin, to the Batmobile.
Did you hear Jared Kushner's real voice?
I did, as a matter of fact. Wasn't it something like, I think, this?
Wasn't far off, actually. It seriously wasn't far off. It was like a lot less stupid.
The song's over. Rated PG.
This never gets old, especially in light of today.
We're not going to get along, but we have to treat each other with respect and civility. And the president's tweet was completely...
A little bit too much of a pause there.
My tweet speaks for itself.
Should the president apologize?
If it were me, one, I wouldn't have done it if it were me, but that's up to him. If it were me,
That's my favorite part.
What we're trying to do around here is improve the tone and the civility of the debate. And this obviously doesn't.
I now remember what there was a point of.
The last time that many
You know what it reminds me of?
Trump was the day the
Pachewy champ, pachewy chewy champ.
I'm joined by Phil
Yeah, that's what she
Harper,
reminds me
White
of.
House for the Washington Post.
No, that wasn't Timmy. That was like
Conversations, but I don't feel like
shit.
we've
I
had
don't
this
even remember.
conversation
It was South
since
Park.
the
Yeah,
day
yeah.
that the
Pachewy
debate
champ,
where
pachewy chewy
Trump
champ.
They have so much shit that
I
it's hard to
know.
remember what the origins of them are.
Well, it's like when you talk about Family Guy. A lot of times you can do the same thing because it's like you don't realize that this episode is that episode. Like, hey, the surfing bird episode is also the Jesus episode.
Yeah, well, it's usually correlated with the jokes instead of the plot. Like, I don't remember, like I forgot Vagina Boob was from Three Kings.
Yes,
episode.
such a classic.
Vagina Boob.
It's a great episode. See, you saying that makes it. See, you bring that up. You were watching it. Makes me want to watch Family Guy again. I haven't watched it in a while. It's not that it's not a good show. You know, there's just so much. We were discussing this, and this is being discussed a lot on some other podcasts I've been listening to. But it's true. There's just so much fucking content.
Good stuff. Good content.
So much content out there now. It's just like I don't have the time of day to consume the things I want, the things I've heard that I need to consume, the things I like, and still, you know, like keep on top and create content of my own and blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, it's just nuts. There's just so much content going on.
It's good stuff, too.
Yes.
If there were bad stuff, it would be,
Yes.
it would be even worse problem. But now that, like, what would be a time of, like, really shitty content that was, I don't know, like, was there ever a time where, like, it was just shit content?
Oh, yeah. When I was growing up, I mean, you didn't know. You never knew a world where the channels were 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, 11, and 13. And then occasionally you can get 35 on UHF. Like, it was later when I, you know, in my kiddom, and this is regional to the New York, New Jersey area. So, and the only real channel, I mean, the original content channels were essentially 2, which was CBS, NBC. Why are you messing with the can? How do you know if you're even in shot?
I have no idea. I'm just looking at the camera.
It was 2, which is CBS, 4, which is NBC, 7, which was ABC. And I think that was really it. Those were the major networks. All the rest were... And then there was PBS. Well, you know, Channel 5 was there. Don't rock back and forth like that.
I want to ask you what you're hearing about
You got ants in your pants.
how the people around the president dealt with
you
the
say
fallout
so.
this morning.
Um,
Well,
Yeah, so I mean, there was very minimal content. So I grew up in a world where it was like, why this? Why are they playing this? Why Bewitched? I mean, essentially, you will never have to live in a world where you ever have to consume media you don't want to consume. Like we watch shows because it's better than nothing. Bewitched, Gilligan's Island, all these shit shows I watched as a kid. Oh, total stupid camp crap. But we watched it because it was the only fucking thing we had. It was that or nothing, It was that or soap operas or whatever the fuck was on competing with, or news, which you didn't want to watch when you were a kid. Yeah, now it's like all.
No, I grew up with SpongeBob, so I was kind of spoiled.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, but you grew up more than that. I remember, I'll never forget, never forget, when we were out, it was Maura who said it, but it was like we were watching something somewhere, maybe it was during the hurricane or something, and Maura wanted, I guess, you guys to wind back whatever it was you just watched, and I guess they said, no, we can't do that, and Maura was like, yes you can just ba-doop it, which is from we had TiVo. Yeah, and the ba-doop, ba-doop, ba-doop when you hit the button. But the whole concept of, just wind it back, idiot. She was 3 years old, and she was like, just ba-doop, ba-doop it.
I love that.
Yeah, me too. And we never forgot. I tell people that, especially people who have TiVo, who had TiVo. TiVo's different. I don't even know if TiVo, the actual brand, exists anymore. But yeah, I mean, it was the original, hard drive on your machine, or that would record TV for you. Anyway, so you guys will never live it. You've always lived in a world where you can pretty much access content that you want, or that you like, or that you desire at your time, when you want it. There's not a lot of appointment television going on anymore. And there's not a lot of, like what I said, there's not a lot of, like, I'm a kid, I've got to occupy hours. Well, I guess I have to watch, C and D rated shit. I have to play, essentially what, marry, fuck, kill with my shows.
The only reason TV exists now is just for sports.
I mean, what is this it? Is this going to go on for 4 years?
And news.
Yeah, news and
sports and news. Yeah.
Twitter.
I mean, obviously the internet exists. See, TV is becoming like our internet and TV. It's all blending now. It's just flip the input, and are you receiving internet or are you receiving it from a cable box? But it's all just becoming content. Yeah. People can watch us on their TV. I do. Go on YouTube, because now YouTube is on practically everybody's TV too. Doesn't it? And it's great. I mean, I love that, because I'll watch more podcasts on my TV, even if they're just playing with the screen, because it's an option. Yeah, it's there. It's easy. Put something on in the background.
And I found because
and occasionally they throw in video content.
Work without having something playing in the background, like a podcast.
Ooh, that would be distracting.
I can't do it otherwise. Like even
classical music.
Even if I'm not even paying
Sorry for that
attention
weird yawn.
Even if I'm not paying attention to it, I have to have it in the background, or else I can't do it. Unless I have my Adderall, then I can't focus on it.
Gotcha.
Otherwise, even then, it's still it makes it comforting.
Yeah. I just want to swing back to politics real quick, because I did this rant this morning on Facebook, and I just want to put this out there. I want to go on record saying, because I get annoyed every time I hear this no evidence bullshit, no evidence of collusion. There is so much fucking evidence of collusion, it's ridiculous. That's why there's a whole fucking case. So every time you hear that, it's just bullshit. That is not fucking true. There's lots of evidence. See, I don't know the details of that article that got them fired.
I just think there's like connections that weren't there, so the people who said there weren't connections got fired.
But that doesn't, yeah, and Trump goes, because one detail and one story is wrong, the whole Russia story is bullshit, but that's so untrue. So that's the other thing that bothered me. So I want to say this for the record. When all this is said and done, you're going to find out that Donald Trump not only was involved, not only knew it, but was fucking directing all of the collusion efforts himself from his campaign. Everyone else may have been the touch point, but look at Donald Trump. Do you think he would let anyone else do it?
That was fun.
You're welcome.
Exactly. The only one he trusts is Kushner, and he shouldn't trust him now.
I don't think he even truly trusts him.
Kushner's going to take him down if he can. He's going to take him out to protect his own ass.
I don't think he even truly trusts him. I think the only person who truly trusts him.
Why would I trust that Jew? Because the anti-everything. This guy's a racist, anti-woman. He's such a fucking misogynist douchebag. Ugh. Anyway, he's going to hang himself with his own tweets. Hey, man. That's it. Donald Trump tweeting his way to impeachment. Hey.
If you're going to tweet, you must impeach.
This is going to happen, man. This idiot's tweeting his way right into impeachment. So I say, everyone who wants to take his Twitter account away, I say no. Let him have it. Give him Instagram. Give him every social media under the sun, because you know what?
The problem I have with him tweeting is when he tweets about, I don't know, like he tries, like he escalates with North Korea or something. He's like, that's diplomatic.
Yeah, did you see that thing he tried to do the other day that was so weird? Oh, we had intelligence that they were going to do a chemical attack. And they didn't. I win. So then, instead of being able to brag on that, what does he do? He essentially calls a woman a cunt on the fucking, from the fucking, he tweets it out. Now, listen. Everybody out there is going, but Scott, you're the most fucking vile person on Twitter there is. I know. That's my point. I am using Trump's tactics against him. That I am being the example of what Trump has opened. The Pandora's box has been opened. He opened it. So fuck that loser scumbag cunt. And by that I mean Trump. I mean, but I am not president. You know what I mean? I don't have any fucking dignity. I don't have any office. I am the media. I am the fake media. I am fake news. But this here fake news is predicting. You heard it here first. He not only is involved and planned and totally fucking conspired with Russia to fix the election. What I think happened was, as far as Trump thought, the way it was going to shake out, Trump was going to lose, but because of all the interference that the Russians were going to do, this is what Trump thought, he was going to be able to claim, fake news or fake election and be a gadfly and start his media company and essentially just live off of attacking Hillary Clinton for the next 4 to 8 years. But what happened was, I think the Russians fucking double-crossed that moron. And he won, and actually, sorry folks, physically hacked, changed the results so that he won the Electoral College. That's why when you saw Trump's face that night, it did not look like the face of a man who was happy with the outcome. It looked like the face of a man who had been fucked over. Go back and look at the footage from that night. He didn't think he was going to win because, as far as he knew, that wasn't the plan with Russia. So the Russians double-crossed him to get even more access. And in so doing, by doing that, they compromised him. Get it? Like, think about that. So you're in with Russia. You've conspired with Russia. But ultimately, as far as you know, in your conspiracy, you weren't going to win. And so therefore, you didn't have any, the chances of your legal digging into you and all that shit was far less. But then the Russians fucking got him big time. Because just the fact that he conspired with them in the election makes him vulnerable, totally on the hook and indebted to them. So when they put him in office, they fucked him. They have him. They hooked him like a fucking fish. And now the idiot just is going to run the playbook, because what else has he got to do? They have this piss tape video. They have, and they have the fact that he conspired. Most importantly, that's what they really have on Trump. The fact that he cheated in the election willingly, with malice and forethought, and was directing activities of his camp. That's what I say.
What do they have? What would the Russians have from gaining if they admit that they colluded?
Somewhat, at least.
They have him. They don't. They have leverage over Trump. They're going to say, listen, asshole. Trump has already, Putin has already sort of done this. Do you remember when he came out around, I don't remember what it was, and the first thing he did was sort of remind Trump about the prostitutes and stuff. The prostitutes in Russia are the best, are the best in the world, or that kind of stuff. But Donald Trump, he's a very big, successful businessman. He don't need no prostitute. You know what that? You don't even bring that up, and that was a subtle threat to Donald Trump, dude. If you don't play ball, prostitute tapes. And whatever they got on him must really bug that narcissistic fuck. And it doesn't, and it makes total sense. Because what do? They break that fucking guy down. They've been finding this guy's pressure points for years.
Honestly, if it were me, I wouldn't be
you try not to worry about your safety, because that'll make you act in a funny way.
No.
You think to yourself,
Because apparently it was all this kind of stuff. It was like in Obama's, like a suite that Obama had stayed in. And they made it all like, that's what the word on the street is about this tape. I think you would if you were.
I'm probably sure I would.
If it's something you wouldn't be proud of,
I wouldn't be proud
and it probably is going to ruin him, it's probably really crystal clear HD too. It's probably not their usual grainy bullshit. Well, I don't think you'd be colluding with a foreign government, because I don't think you'd be colluding with a foreign government. You know what I mean? Trump is one of those guys who all his life has been spoiled. He's always used his money to solve all his problems. He thinks, he's a sociopath thinker. As long as I don't get caught, I didn't do it. Watch the man. Look at him speak a sentence. He's such a fucking sociopath. He's the only guy who can be on both sides of an issue at the same time, in a sentence, in a paragraph. He's a fucking whack dude. He's what they call, he walks around in a state of total cognitive dissonance, which means he's holding opposing viewpoints all the time. I didn't conspire with Russia, but he really did, and he knows he did. You know what I mean? So he has to convince himself that he didn't.
It's so weird that
it's cognitive dissonance. He's a psychopath.
It's funny that he's trying to use Orwellian ways.
Oh, he's totally trying to. It's getting scary.
He himself is an example of like a depiction of what Orwellian thinking is.
Oh yeah, totally.
So it's kinda
Oh, you mean the product of it?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he just uses these tactics. He knows one of the things he does is he knows that gee, who do you think taught him to do this? This is Putin's playbook. All this shit. This is right out of Compromat. Donald Trump, thinking that he was going to lose the election and conspiring with the Russians, was his undoing. Because in so doing, they fucked him by making him win. Now he's on a hook.
So what if he dropped out?
What do you mean? Resigned?
Yeah, no, I mean like during the campaign. What if he had dropped out?
Well, then the Russians would have, basically would have been fucked. They would, they would have accepted whatever law. But they have won big time because they have Trump, They have him compromised, and they have him over a barrel. And why the fuck is Putin coming like next week or some shit?
Oh, to G, whatever.
To steal more secrets.
Did he go to Germany? Is he going to
To
Germany?
fucking flaunt. He needs help to get reelected. He wants to show his people.
That's the thing they do every year.
And he wants to fucking. Trump wants to roll out the red carpet and, I don't know, fucking military parades. Who the fuck knows what this asshole wants?
They do that every year.
Not with Putin.
Yeah, they do it.
Putin doesn't come to the White House and party.
The White House. It's that conference thing with all the world leaders, the major countries in Germany.
Yes. Yeah.
They do
The
that.
G8.
Yeah, G8.
Yeah. Which is now the G7 or the G6. Who the fuck knows?
Yeah.
I'm not going anymore. We're G2. I'm going to make my own G. I'm going to make it
go
better. I'm going to call it T for Trump.
Do you know, they did a world poll with everyone around the world. Apparently people trust Trump less than they trust Putin.
There you go. That's frightening in and of itself.
He's more of a threat, apparently.
Trump is a degenerate. That is the truth. That is the best word for Trump. Trump is an utter degenerate. He has no fucking scruples. He's a gangster mind. Whatever is good for him is good. Fuck everybody else. No loyalty. He wants loyalty but gives none. He needs his guys to go out there and impugn themselves. He needs his speakers to lie and impugn themselves. That's what the mob does.
And then
the mob wants you to get arrested at least once so they have something on you.
He's a dumb version of it because he
is because
he convicts
well,
himself
he's
afterwards.
stupid. And you know why he hates women so much? Because of his first wife
Yeah.
was so much smarter than him. She ran the fucking business, and when she got sick of his stupidity, she divorced him and left him on
then
his
he named
ass.
his daughter
And he's
after her.
never ever. Well, her name is Ivana.
Yeah, but that's the same thing.
Ivana Trump was the brains behind the organization. Before that, it was his daddy who told him what to do. He's like, and yes, I heard Kushner's voice too. He sounds like a fucking kid. That's why he doesn't talk around. That's why he doesn't talk around anybody, because he sounds like what he looks like, a little fucking
He
kid.
really has, like,
And that's why. Did you hear about Tillerson?
Getting him mad or something.
Yeah, he blew up. He said, I've worked from the ground up. I don't take fucking orders from some 36-year-old political hack.
Even though he's like a corrupt oil businessman. Tillerson.
I think that if Tillerson was given his own, like in a real administration, Tillerson may be a decent Secretary of State. Or at least he wouldn't be as bad as we have him, with no fucking press coverage, no fucking nothing. And I wonder now, is that Tillerson's want
not as
or
bad.
Trump's?
Not as bad, doesn't not
Again,
not bad.
Putin hates the American State Department. He hates the spreading of democracy. The American State Department has always undermined Russia. Trump is a fucking Russian spy sent here to destroy this country. He's a Manchurian candidate from Moscow, and he needs to be impeached and tried as a traitor. And you watch, it'll come out. The evidence is getting... Because watch how he acts. Think about how he acts and how he's acted. It's like Occam's razor. If you take what I've said as the premise, it explains all his behavior. He's a villain. But you know how he keeps doing it? We're stupid as shit. That's true. This is how he keeps getting away with it. We're stupid as shit. First, the intelligence agency was stupid as shit to think, because everybody thinks he wouldn't do that. You know what I mean? That's where it all goes wrong. Once you, what? Why wouldn't he? Look at him. He has no scruples. Why wouldn't he? Come on. Oh, God. And that's how fucking stupid Americans are. What? You think that if they can hack an election, they didn't hack the fucking Republican primaries? Wasn't it weird that Donald Trump won the fucking Republican primaries saying shit that wasn't even Republican? And just insulting lifelong Republicans? I know that there is an angry 30%, which might boil down to more in the Republican Party. I don't think it's half. I don't think it's half. Most people who are Republicans are just Republicans because they're white. And they don't know any better. Seriously, they don't give it much thought than that. I'm white. I was brought up white. I was told we're Republican. I'm a Republican. They don't even think about it. You know,
a lot of Republicans,
they're white. I think it's the white people's party, isn't it?
They say they're Republicans, but it turns out policy by policy, they're really just progressive.
Or they're moderates, or they don't know. They don't know what they are.
They just say there's a label.
Doesn't really mean because they don't. Most times they don't hate gay people publicly. They don't.
Well, that's more of my generation.
Yes. Thank God. Thank God for you guys. And thank God the other ones are dying off. God, it's so ridiculous. And it just shows. And here you go. Look at this whole healthcare debate in the last week or so. This has all been about. This is like a legacy of Republican meanness. It's always what they've been. It's always been what they are. They are angry people that just don't like the poor, whoever. And it's all about them. I don't want to give my taxes, which they barely pay any of, to anyone else. Fucking cock knockers.
We pay the most taxes, and two of that shit's going.
And so that was the problem. The problem is, fucking McConnell ran into a buzzsaw when right off the bat, it was like this concept of just taking away health care and replacing it with nothing went over like a fucking fart in a church. It went over like a lead balloon. Like, you could hear fucking crickets when he said it. Because everyone was like, how is this going to help us?
When I hear this, I don't think they know that Medicare is actually popular.
They don't understand anything.
It's actually a popular program.
They don't understand that Obamacare is becoming a popular program because when you fucking try and take away people's health care, they get fucking pissed.
Yeah.
This is why no one gets to take away entitlements, and this is why. That's really what this has all been about. It doesn't matter. It's just, once we can take away this entitlement, regardless how we do it, we can take away them all. This has always been about, dude, I hate to say it. No, I don't hate to say it. As crazy as it sounds, this all goes back to destroying the New Deal.
Oh, yeah.
To destroying FDR. It all rolls back.
That happened in the Glass-Steagall, too.
And it's never stopped.
The Glass-Steagall Act.
Yep.
Too.
The rich hate having any impediment on them to exploit the poor. All right, and that's the show. Hey, everybody, have a good weekend. We hope you all have a great time, and Armageddon's coming. Fucking the president is a misogynistic douchebag who should just basically resign, save us all the trouble of impeaching him. I do like the label, future impeached President Trump.
When Pence becomes president,
oh my God,
so weird.
It's gonna be fucking some lame quasi weird.
It's not even
because he is like a stereotypical Christian conservative douchebag. But at least he's a freak that we're used to.
It's funny because he's not good enough to celebrate over, but he's not.
He's a freak that we're sort of used to that kind of freak. We're used to this kind of fuckwad.
I don't want to be used to.
Hey, you know what? Here's the truth. Here's what's going to happen. If we do impeach Trump, we better impeach that fucking judge. We have to impeach his Supreme Court justice, too. Because his nomination doesn't count. Because he was bullshit. He won the office by cheating. So therefore, everything he does is null and void, including that justice. We impeach him. Next.
So does that mean all of his appointments in government are taken out?
Oh yeah, that's all gone. Oh, then we'll actually staff government again, because Pence doesn't Pence isn't not about this. Pence is sort of doing the will of Trump. Pence is in a difficult position. He's trying to balance normalcy with, or his brand of normalcy.
I don't know. Pence is more of he's like a state. He's like a state government's above federal government kind of guy. So he's not going to try to.
Yeah, but okay. But let me put it this way: he's institutional.
Yeah.
He's not fucking crazy
He's
sauce.
pro-federal government when it's in his favor.
Again, he's a crazy that we're fucking used to, and that you can make sense out of. And that, yes, yuck, anti-gay, ew, and weird hang-ups. Like, if I'm at a dinner, if I'm at a lunch with another woman, my wife has to be there. Weirdo fucking. Probably secretly wants to. But okay, that would be my guess. But I would love to check Mike Pence's. I would love to check Mike Pence's internet porn log. There's a lot of dudes on it. I'm just saying. Not saying, but I'm just saying. I'm not saying he's gay. I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised if I found a lot of fucking guys on there.
That is a very possible. Very possible.
Let's check that internet. Let's see. Seriously, these are things that the American people should get to see about their president. I want to see your fucking download history. I want to see what. I want to see your internet. I want to see your browser history.
They can sell our internet history.
Exactly.
And we can see.
I want to see their browser history. I want to see what sick porn they were looking at.
There's a movement for that. Like we were trying to gather up money to buy Trump's internet history.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Oh, you know that's loaded with tons of fucking golden shower piss videos and the fucking total debasement of women.
You think he's smart enough to actually have a
I'm sure it all stems back to the fact that his wife, his first wife, was smarter than him, was better than him, and essentially made him, and he never recovered since.
Do you think he's smart enough to use a private browser?
Nah. They say he's using the same stupid open phone.
Oh, that's what.
And they also, here's another thing. There's a big story today about how other nations use this idiot's fucking Twitter account to get psychological profiles on all kinds of intelligence data out of him.
There was that.
He's such a fucking moron.
The Australian guy.
No one knows what I'm doing in pure sight of everybody.
Oh yeah, doesn't he talk to more loser on his phone than just normal phone?
I'm a loser.
And that's not allowed. So that's like really like.
He's an idiot.
That's a security risk.
Listen. Again, I love that it's coming out because they peel back the layers of the onion each week, and each week I am being verified.
Real fucking big onion.
It's each week. When I said that fucking the Russians actually changed the electoral results, everybody said it was crazy. Now we're getting closer and closer to that coming out. Each day. When they tell us that's a scary one. That's a scary one. Plus, it helps if you look. You know what I mean? And up until a while ago, they weren't really looking. They were looking, but they weren't. So, all right. We're out of here. It's time to go. Gene's here. Gene's home. We've been going for a good half hour now, so.
I have no eyebrows.
Yes, you do. Nope. Yep. So how's it feel to be a year? How's it feel to have be a year since you had fingers?
I just mowed the lawn.
Yay. We'll talk about that on the next show.
Yeah.
Your fingers. Me fingers.
Me fingers.
Because it's a long and interesting tale. And it has been a year, but... Oh, yay, I'm so hungry. All right, we're out of here, folks. I need to find a theme. I think we're going to go out on the thing we came in on with. So, because it's more fun than anything else. And that's right. It's...
Banana. I want a banana.
That's right. We'll see you next time, folks. We'll try and get on a better schedule with these. Raised up posterior.
Raise up posterior.
That was a restrained public response from Secretary of State Rex Tillerson after a blow-up behind closed doors. That's what Politico is reporting today, saying Tillerson's grown frustrated by negative press coverage and delays in appointing staff. Last week, unleashing his anger in front of Reince Priebus, Jared Kushner, and others. Politico's
It's funny, it's not even the worst thing he's ever said.
Alex, this is very much in line with what I picked up from sources since a story earlier in the week, reporting some of the similar things, but not your incredible detail about this blow-up. What happened in the Oval Office, if that's where it happened?
Look, basically what happened is this. Rex Tillerson, the Secretary of State, was at the White House last week. He had a meeting with some of the aides that you mentioned, including Johnny DeStefano, who oversees a lot of the hiring for the White House. Jared Kushner, Reince Priebus were there too. And what basically happened was that Tillerson yelled at DeStefano. He basically expressed a lot of frustration over the slowness and the pace of the hiring. Tillerson's overseeing a really understaffed State Department right now. It's taking a long time to get staff in place. And he yelled at DeStefano, and he basically said, look, I want to have greater control over the people that join the State Department. And what happened after that basically was that Jared Kushner approached one of Tillerson's top aides and basically said, look, Secretary of State Tillerson can't behave this way, he can't act this way. It's inappropriate, and that they needed to find a solution moving forward. What I think this whole incident really underscores, though, is the degree of frustration that the Secretary of State feels right now about just how things are going for him in this administration, about how hard it's been for him to hire people.
Well, he's a grown man taking marching orders from